Your income doesn't matter. Your age doesn't matter. Your race doesn't matter. Your geographical location doesn't matter. There's a thing that you and I are dealing with in your money, and it's called math. And none of those things I just mentioned give you a pass on math. And where people get themselves in trouble, including when I went broke many years ago because I was stupid, we get ourselves in trouble when we don't bother and do the math before we do the transaction. We're the stupid woman from San Diego who leased her dog for $5,400. We make $90,000 a year, and somehow in our brains figure out that our children deserve a $50,000 Honda SUV. And now we have to take the kids out of private school because we can't pay the payments on the SUV and the private school because we didn't do math. We're 21 years old. We buy a $10,000 car, run up $10,000 in credit card debt, and have $10,000 in medical bills and make $30,000 a year. When you make $30,000 a year, there's nowhere in that plan that the $10,000 car makes sense. There's nowhere in that plan that running up a bunch of credit card debt gives you any room to breathe. You already can't breathe. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids. Our health care is provided by Medicaid, which is welfare, because we qualify. If I go back to work, we won't qualify for that. If I go back to work, they'll have to pay for daycare. When you make $30,000 a year, there's nowhere in that plan that the $10,000 car makes sense. There's nowhere in that plan that running up a bunch of credit card debt gives you any room to breathe. You already can't breathe. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids. With 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids. We have 3 kids. We make $28,000 a year. Should I go back to work, the woman asks. $28,000 income with 3 kids.
No, she ain't gonna go back to work because that's the hustle. All right, let's be clear. That's the hustle. I'm on welfare. I get free money. This is why our government is doing what they're doing to us, because they already understand human behavior. Cripple somebody, give them what they need to live, and they will be loyal to you. It ain't no different than a woman that uses a man. It ain't no different than the booty out that got the good woman. It ain't got nothing. It's the same perspective. If you give somebody that ain't got nothing something, you'll be their God. Good morning, humans. Welcome to 98.3 dotCOMFM. I'm your host, Chris One Radio Group. Appreciate you guys for being here. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you said that dude is at it again and again and again and again. Going to talk about infatuation today. And there's a reason why I'm going to talk about infatuation. Um, people, I love what I do. I love my life. Um, I love what I do. I love my life. I'm not going to uh, trade. Um, I'm not going to trade this for anything. It's worked well for me. It's a great it's a great companionship. It's a great basis to build on, and um, I'm not going to change um, this thing that I'm doing. Once again, it's a great it's a great life. I have a great life. Um, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay, what's going on? Feel good. Appreciate you for being here, man. You guys could have been anywhere else in the world. You rocking out with me. You said, "Hey, that ugly dude is at it again." Going to talk about something going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. I'm going to talk about infatuation. Um, First, I think what I should do is tell y'all about my infatuations. And then I'm going to tell you that the reason why individuals are dealing with currently or have dealt with individuals in their past is due to infatuation, and that train will crash real soon. People, my infatuation when I was younger was with the big booty. Um, um, Being young, and dig this, we all had infatuations. The thing is when you tell someone, like when you meet somebody and you can tell by a pattern what type of people that they were into in the past, and then you say, well, there seems to be an infatuation, and they got 50 million excuses as to why that's not the case. So to to try and loosen up that tight knit hold on stupidity and not at least letting words gurgitate from your mouth so that someone else can learn from it. We as humans, we don't like to do that. So let me first start by telling you my infatuation. People, I lived in the Pocono Mountains, Pennsylvania. There were no single women up there. The single women that you do find, it was like a single people's retreat. When we ran into each other, we held on to each other. This is why I dealt with Crystal Holman as long as I did. Crystal Holman had a 35-inch chest, a 29-inch waist, and a massive 54-inch ass. And as I as I'm telling you today, probably something that I never told you, part of the infatuation was availability. She was the only woman available, so that's why. But nonetheless, when I was younger, um, I dated two women that was in one was in Big Butt magazine and one was in Blacktail. If you guys remember Blacktail magazine, I've dated two women that were in those magazines. When I tell y'all that I had an infatuation with the big booty, I'm undercutting it. But then what happens is you mature. You turn 31, 32 years old, and then you realize and you start adding up all your failures. And you start realizing that what's happening with your relationships is there's something that each one of those women have in common, and that's all you pretty much cared about. I was infatuated with the big booty. And because I was infatuated with the big booty, the relationships was not a relationship at all. The relationships were just an infatuation. Um, People, I'm gonna talk about me some more, but I'm gonna say this. Appreciate those thumbs up. There are some people out there that just can't deal with the tolerance and attitude of women of color. And because they can't deal with the attitude or don't have the tolerance of women of color, they say it's best to go get an Indian woman. I've heard go to West India. I've heard get a white woman. I heard all these things. Um, so you're building a relationship based on what you don't like as opposed to what you're attracted to, compatibility. When you run from one just to the other, that's not infatuation. That's some other thing. I don't have the vocabulary right now. Yep, you heard that. I don't have the vocabulary in my head right now to put on it, but I'm going to just tell y'all, everybody knows when they are in someone else's infatuation. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. A booty out nigga knows, yo, the bitch is just like, because like me, know what I mean? They know that. They know when they treat a woman like trash and she stick around, got you. If you was in a relationship with someone for years and years, if your relationship was an old verse from Barry White, gonna take years and years and years, then you were on the receiving end of someone knowing that you was infatuated with them. People, let me go left 12 minutes in. It's hard being a man. It really is. It's hard being me. I realized something yesterday when I had to do some work around the house. I said, you know what? If I didn't own this house, I wouldn't have to do this. And then I said, well, these are all the things that come with being a man. And then I thought about individuals that don't own a house and can just don't have to worry about certain things. And then I thought about booty out niggas. And when I thought about booty out niggas, I said to myself, boy, they got the life. All they do is wear their pants off their behind, get tattoos, and and that's it. That is so easy. But it's hard being a man. And then I remember something. I got a female friend I was talking to a couple of months ago, and she said intellectual guys are so attracted to, I'm so attracted to intellectual guys like yourself. People, I never heard that. I was 51 when I was told that. I've never heard that someone saying that to me in my 52 years of living. Only one person told me that. She was not a woman of color. Do you know how jacked up it is for men like myself that was raised with fathers in their life, and their father taught them how to be a man, only to grow up and run into a pandemic, an epidemic of stupidity in the community you guys call black, where our women are saying, I don't need a man. I don't want a man. So when that is the case, we got to then start connecting the dots. What exactly is going on? There's an infatuation. I told y'all before, there's two mindsets, children or adults. An adult knows that when they spend 1 minute with finding or looking or being with a mate, it is to better their life. Only a child says, I'm going to date this no good individual and I'm going to try to build him. I'm going to try to turn him into a project. Only an idiot says she got 2 kids by 2 different dudes. I'm gonna put a baby up in her, and she lives in public housing. Only an idiot would navigate themselves through life with that perspective. People, every transaction that you do in your life is supposed to make you better at the end of that transaction. That's what Dave Ramsey was saying. He said, your income doesn't matter, your age doesn't matter. For all you niggas that want to say, oh, us people in the black community, we ain't got no chance. Your geographical location doesn't matter. There's a thing that you and I must do, and the thing that I didn't do when I went broke many years ago. I did not do the math before I did the transaction. Ain't that what he said? So what he is doing, he created a company. I got to start adding Dave Ramsey when I talk about Candy Lightner and John Walsh. I got to start adding Dave Ramsey in there too. What these individuals do, they now turn their mistakes into businesses. Is that not what I'm doing? Dave Ramsey went broke, turned his mistake into a business. Or should I say turned their pain into a business, because Candy Lightner's child getting killed and John Walsh's child getting killed wasn't mistakes. That was pain. So let me back that up. Let me retract that, all right? Because that's what individuals do. So if you are infatuated with a woman like I was in many years, my wife didn't have a big butt. I didn't dive deep into my infatuation until after my marriage. I didn't mature into this perspective, and I only lived in my state of infatuation for about 7 years. Hold on. No. For about 11 years, I lived in a state of infatuation. From about 20, I got my divorce, I was 22. About 10 years. Yeah. Because I know it was 32 at the latest. So I lived in a state of infatuation for 10 years. And in those 10 years, I lost out on a lot of things that could have made me better a lot sooner. People, let me tell y'all something. I'm a great man, but a woman can make me better. I'm not like the average individuals. I'm not running around here talking about how bad women are and I don't need no woman. I got my man James Lewis, he speak that all the time, and I keep trying to tell him, my man Calvin, and me and my man Calvin be talking, and Calvin like to say, I would have been as where I am at today even if I wasn't married. I'm like, bruh, stop. You are in a great position. Your wife, add your wife in that equation. Stop. So when I tell y'all, I am one to sit here today on the 13th of January and talk to you about infatuation. Trust me, I was sipping on the Kool-Aid for 10 years of my life. Now, when I get a woman and she happens to have a large backside, then I can let my love for the voluptuous buns presume. So, infatuation. I should have named this Infatuation Part 2 because I spoke about this not too long ago. And my man Sean, Mr. Firstborn, wanted me to do another one. If you want me to do something you want me to do a talk about, leave your comment at the bottom of the video, and I'll do a comment. I'll do a show about it. But I'm talking about infatuation today here on 98.3.com. I'm Chris One of the Chris One Radio Group, and I'm going to talk to you about a specific infatuation. I'm going to talk to you about infatuation with the big booty. All right. Then we're going to go with infatuation, booty out nigga, infatuation with some other traits. A lot of women out there love a man. All they got to do is have tattoos. All he got to do is wear his pants off his butt, have Timbs. All he got to do is have dreads. All he got to do is have a beard. With men, infatuation is limited. It's just like, she just got to have a big booty or big titties. Oh, wait a minute. There's some individuals out there that love big, round, roly-poly wobblers. So I got to broaden my criticism off the same thing. But right now, I'm going to talk to you about the infatuation with men that love the big booty. Yours truly. All right? Be clear about something. Sir Mix-a-Lot made a song called Baby Got Back. And Baby Got Back was a song that was dedicated to the big booty. Baby Got Back. Now, I'm going to go left right out the gate and say the problem with women with big booties is they really think that that is the only thing they need to have. So a lot of women with big booties, I remember I was watching the new show. It was revamped. It was called Name That Tune or something like that. That Alex Baldwin was the host of, and Vivica A. Fox was like, "Name your best asset." And Vivica A. Fox, a woman of color, said, "I'm sitting on mine." That is the premise with a lot of women of color. People, the number one photo that you see when you go on dating sites by women of color is this photo here. That's the number one photo. That is the camera behind them looking at their booty. All right. These individuals will make everything about their booty. It becomes shallow after a while, but this is what they'll do. Everything will be about their booty. They want to be bouncing. They feel like you got to respect it. You got to treat them the same way the other guy did. But that's what they feel. But if you, as a man, what's going on, E? Got my man E Green up in this. If you meet a woman and, because I've seen them. I was in a supermarket. I see individuals that dress everything tight. Their attire is more predicated to the hip hop audience than the blue collar audience. I've seen women in the supermarket with very voluptuous, conservative clothes, look like they just came from the office, got an idea around their neck, and they're just looking, and you walk past them, and they're just into what they're doing. But then I've seen individuals that wear tight clothes on, their butt crack is showing, they're loud because they want attention, they just loud. And it's like, and this is what happens. You could see them. They don't see you yet. And the second they see you, it's, yeah, I know, yeah, I know. And then it's, is he looking at me? If you have an infatuation with a voluptuous woman with a big booty, if you get with one, just make sure she's in the right. If you're a hip hop dude, that's cool. If you're a conservative dude, you want conservative. They don't crave for attention. The conservative don't crave for attention. It's a different realm. If you get with one and they got multiple kids by multiple dudes, and she's people, let me tell you something. I met a woman with this big. I mean, her booty was huge. She was 29 with a 15 and a 14-year-old child. You just stained the fact that you got a big booty. You stained. I mean, her booty was huge. And she had a 15 and a 14-year-old child. That says a lot about your big booty. That means you ran about and you got so much attention, you played into the attention. One thing you never heard me say about Crystal L. Holman is that she was a hip hop crowd woman. She always dressed conservative. She never twerked. She never made it about her butt. She just never did that. If you're dealing with a woman and there's an infatuation about that individual, it makes it worse when they are like those individuals that I just spoke about, when you're out and about and you didn't see them. I mean, they didn't see you, but you seen them. And then they see you and they be like, yeah, I know, girl, right? And then they looking at you like, it's amazing. Or the classic, when you see them out and about and they got to do that. When you see that, people, let me tell you something. There's no reason to do that. When you see a woman that does that, that's a woman that's infatuated. That's a woman that's saying, people, let me tell you something. Y'all may think that I say things in a one-off. People, let me tell you something. I was in a supermarket. This woman had 4 people in front of me. It was next. When I got up to her, she was like, how you doing? I was like, wow. You had 4 people in front of me. You didn't do that then. And the average guy likes that. But me, I'm a nerd. I tell my woman this and she's like, no, you're not. Listen, nerds, we like, don't be with that. That is, if look, whoever is that girl's boyfriend, that's what he's gonna have to deal with. It's nothing wrong with saying, like, I tell y'all, I'm Chris Kent, but then when I'm Super Chris, I'm dapper. I'm in all my. I got Gucci. I was wearing my Gucci frames earlier and was like, man, I got to start wearing my frames. I had on my Gucci frames and was like, man, but it's no reason to make every engagement. I seen a woman that I was coming out of the supermarket and she looked at me. She was looking in the glass and she was looking at me through the glass and she was waiting. And when I looked up at her, she was like, she grabbed her thing like, and then I turned away. Then she was literally standing there waiting until I looked at her to do that. Oh, yeah, I got all this ass. I mean, to me, it just, give me a second. Okay, I'm back. It's okay for you guys to say, yeah, I'm infatuated with a big booty. Just understand what's coming with it. You would think that an individual would know what's going on, Freddie. You would think that an individual would know their lane. You would think that an individual would be like, but it's not like that. This is my market. This is all I got. Somebody posted something on Instagram a couple of days ago, and it was like, blah, 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 with the woman with the big butt. And somebody came under it and said, it's all they got. It's all they're worth. And what you as a man need to understand, whenever you see an individual doing that and making everything about her butt, please don't think that she's shutting that off when you're not around. And just understand the many different degrees when you have an infatuation with that. It's a lot of layers with that. It's a lot of layers. It's a lot of layers. It really is. It's a lot of layers. So that's what you got to understand when you have an infatuation with the big booty. All right, that's what we're talking about here today on 98.3 dotCOM FM. Appreciate those thumbs up. I'm talking about infatuation. I'm talking about infatuation. Now, there's another infatuation. A lot of you guys out there love a woman with some big old titties. There's a lot of guys out there that are titty guys that don't know it. Then they say a woman with some big old titties, and they like, that is another infatuation. People, infatuation are terrible ingredients to a relationship long term. Excellent for a hump and dump. Excellent. Infatuation. Let me read to you the definition of infatuation. Let me use the old trusty. Let me use the old trusty. The old trusty computer. I want y'all to listen to this. What is the definition of the word infatuation?
Here's the definition of infatuation: an intense but short-lived passion or admiration for someone or something.
Wow! Oh my God! How on point is that? How on point is that? Let me do it again. What is the definition of infatuation?
Here's the definition of infatuation: an intense but short-lived passion or admiration for someone or something.
And y'all think I just say this just to be saying it. An intense but short-lived passion or admiration for someone or something. What's going on, Shay Money? Shay Money up in the bitch. I said this months ago. I didn't do that. But I did this months ago, and I talked about infatuation. And I know because, hold on a second. Check this out. Last year, infatuation came knocking at my front door. And I was tested. And I wouldn't tell nobody I'm a Christian or I belong to any religious denomination or nomination, whatever they call it. But I am extremely spiritual. When I speak, I'm speaking from the perspective of a very analyzed and ironclad perspective. And when I denied this individual last year, I had two individuals tell me, man, I would just fuck her if I was you. And two things. it kind of shocked me because I thought these individuals knew me better than that, number one. And number two, I was shocked because there's a scene in the Avengers, the very first one, where Loki, he he was in that place and he took that guy a sample of that guy's eye, and then he goes outside and he's like, kneel before me. He was just zapping all over the place. They would run over here, he'd zap over there, kneel before me, kneel before me. Then I said kneel, and then he gave the speech, the same speech that Adolf Hitler gave, by the way. You were made to be ruled. The threat of a segregation, you were made to be ruled. And that's how I feel when stupidity comes knocking at my door. Kneel before me. I am better than you. I am a god to stupidity. And I was glad that the infatuation didn't rear its ugly head. I was glad that I was able to steady the ship. I was riding off of a couple of things, the high of buying a house and being back in the seat of home ownership. And it was weird because I had just lost my dog, and that's why I opened up at the time to entertain and talk to. And then once I got that, the doors closed, bolted shut, welded, put boulders in front of it. This door will never be opened again. And that's what a lot of you guys need to understand. Infatuation is an ass trash perspective of a relationship. If you ask somebody, was you ever infatuated with? They'll say no. We all was infatuated with. My ex-wife said something to me when we was saying our goodbyes. She said, "You're gonna get you a female with a real big butt." And I was like, "Why you say that?" She said, "Chris, you light up every time you see one. Like a little kid." Who knew? But if you listen to somebody talk and you're like, you like guys with tattoos, don't you? No. Well, how come every guy you talked about had them? And it was like the tattoos existed, but the man part of it was just trash. Like nothing about it is just like, how did you get? I mean, I don't get it twisted. You're the best woman in the world to me, but god dang, how did you end up with that? And they'll never admit it. We all was infatuated. Some of you like the big booty. Some of you are infatuated with big titties. It's your preference. There are some women out there I've seen that are flat, skinny. No, you mean the kneecaps is the biggest thing on them below their waist. But then you get all up, and then the top that you see big old knockers. I'm laughing at something else. And and you seen that. You seen women that slim, skinny, no nothing, but look at your big old titties. You know, it's okay. What I'm simply telling you here today is face your infatuations and get them the fuck out of your life quick. You better abort. Let me allow me one more again. Allow me one more again. What is the definition of infatuation?
Here's the definition of infatuation: an intense but short-lived passion or admiration for someone or something.
Short-lived. Short-lived. Infatuation is short-lived. That's what I'm telling you. It's short-lived. I said it's great for it's great for booty call, bad for relationships. Uh, people, here's what women got to understand. In the movie Chirac brought this to the forefront. If today 1,000 women made videos saying, we no longer want a no good nigga, we want a man with a job, men would run and get jobs. People, because booty out niggas ain't no good, women are not going to say, we would just want booty out niggas. We just want them. It's an infatuation. We just want them. They're not going to say that, but they'll run to them, and the men will notice that the stock of booty out niggas goes up. Now I need y'all to follow me. Talking about an infatuation with the booty out nigga. Or I'm a stockpile this all in one. An infatuation with, I'm gonna just leave it. The infatuation with the booty out nigga. Yeah, I can say all in one. The infatuation with the booty out nigga, the nigga with a beard, the nigga with dreads, the nigga that just got out of prison. All right. Now I'm 41 minutes in. Now it's the woman's turn. But I'm not going to give women 41 minutes. I'm going to give women the rest of this show, 19 minutes. There's a scene in the movie Transformers where Sam Witwicky brought himself a Camaro. And the first thing he did when he got up the next day, he said, all right, Mojo, he was talking to his dog. He said, all right, Mojo, we got the car. Now it's time to get the chicks. Infatuation or hoax? No, it's true. It's the reason why I don't drive my premium cars. Like, I don't want the attention. I'm not interested. Need y'all to follow me. You would think that in my past, women would love that about me, but it's like, so what? I don't care. When I call you a bitch, you don't allow me to get away with it. Another story. I don't want to go left on that. But we're talking about the infatuation with the booty out nigga. Once again, the movie Chirac showed us, or tried to tell women, you have the power. Let women tell it they don't. Here's what every woman that I ever met said in my life. And you find out the infatuation. We got together, he was all these things, and then they start rambling off the details. We got together, he was all good, and then he just did this. He turns into a bum. He couldn't get off the couch. All he did was play PlayStation. All that nigga did was smoke weed. He did that when you met him. But allow me to break down the perspective of estrogen, because they always seem to want to pick things up after the fact. This woman is walking down the street, or this woman is at the bus stop or at the gas station, and the booty is bouncing. True story by a friend of mine that passed away. Rest in peace. I asked her, how did you end up with him? Well, I was walking down the street, and Chris, the booty is all big. Okay. Oh, dear my. But here's what happens. That woman is walking to the bus stop. That booty is bouncing, because if they got a big booty, chances of them wearing stuff that ain't tight is just impossible. So the booty was looking all big because it's a display piece. Walking to the bus stop, a car drives by. Yeah, fuck a nigga up. Yeah, it ain't. Yeah. And dude has got his arm out the window with it. Gotta have a tattoo showing. He got the arm out the window and he's smoking his weed, and he's like, oh snap. Yo, what's up, ma? Know what I mean? Yeah, I know how you mean. But on her end, we got to talk about her end. And on her end, the car drives by, and what she wants to see in the sequence of events She wants to see brake lights. And she sees brake lights and she says, yes, because there's a nigga in that car. And then she says, all right, we got brake lights. Now I want to see reverse lights. And then the reverse lights come on. Then she's like, yes, yes. And then he backs up and is, you know what I'm saying, Ma? Because he's the passenger. No, Sam, because and the guy, it ain't the guy driving. That's why he got his arm out the window. It ain't, you know what I mean, Ma? Oh, so shorty, you know what I mean? Shorty, oh, you heading to work, shorty? Because me and my woman was talking about this yesterday. They don't never want a woman in their class. They always want a woman that can, be better than that. And he's not meaning her after every 2 words. And she's like, oh my God, he's not meaning me. He's not meaning me. And then he like, yo, shorty, you know what I'm saying? I mean, what time you get up work, shorty? Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Every word is that's what's up or some niggish crap, And then it's like, well, the bus about to come, and then she's like, damn, don't let that be my bus. And it's her bus, and she's like, dag, my bus pulling up. And then it's, dag. And then, well, my bus about to come. You got a number? Oh, yeah, shorty. They exchange numbers. And then she gets off work at 5 o'clock, and her coochie starts twinkling around 3:30. Then she texts him, it was nice meeting you. He like, oh, okay, that's what's up, shorty. So what you doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm at my baby mom house. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got nothing going, but I'm at my baby mom house. I'm at my baby mom house because I take care of all 8 of my kids. Dude ain't got no job, but he take care of all 8 of his kids, And then she like, oh, that's what's up. She what's up him back. I get off work at 5 o'clock. This is my address. Try to be at my house at 4:45. And then at 4:45, he's at the house. And at that night, he's busting off nuts and she keeping it real. She got us all up in the air because that's what it is. That's the infatuation. That's what we're talking about, right? And then she tells her friend, girl, that nigga got some good dick. That got some good dick. Because I ain't never in my life heard a white woman or a Puerto Rican say, a Boricua got some good dick, or my white man got some good dick. I never heard that. But I hear women of color say this. I just heard it a couple of days ago in my video, and you see it on my video that I'm posted. She wants a toxic relationship. The sex is good. Nigga got some good dick. What are you going to do? And then they forget all that. 2 kids later, still the same old thing. He out getting other chicks, all this stuff, and then they want to pick it up from, oh, they give you explicit details as to why this booty out nigga ain't no good. And here's the thing that kills me. That's how you can tell it's an infatuation. They say niggas ain't, and I said, I went under one posting, when were they ever? When were ever niggas worth anything other than anything greater than the brown particles in your toilet? When were they ever? When? I've seen a posting on Instagram, a chick posted, if your beard is like this, DM me. In case y'all don't know it, this dude on Instagram, F child support. I get most of my material from him. He sends me some. This dude is the truth. He gives you content that is dead on. And he posted, this is what good fathers and good black men got to deal with. Women that says all you got to do is have a nice beard. Get at me. If your beard is like this, get at a DM a sister. Not if you got a job, if you this, and this. People, they won't tell you this. Nope. When you listen to an individual you dealt with, you can see the failures. Listen, to all the good guys out there, you'll be hard pressed to find a woman in our community that dealt with a guy that was just like you in their past. I tell you, my child's mom got 2 degrees from Seton Hall University. Her stuff was off, you know. The women that I've dated with here, college degrees. Now, an individual may say, well, how did that work out? Well, it's a great start is what I'm saying. That if you want to take stabs at the fact that it didn't work out, the woman that I've dated down here had 3 degrees and was going back to get more. Not just one neither. But to deal with someone that was a bum, or you have an infatuation with him because he was in prison, because he had dreads, because he had a bald head, because he had a beard, because he wore his pants off his ass, and you're supposed to go out and select. So let me just go another way with it. Do you know that rams, the one that's the strongest ram gets the pussy? Lions, the one that beats, the ones that fight, there's brothers. Normally, lions travel in packs. There's 2 brothers. They're normally brothers. They go and they take over a herd of lionesses and they kill the babies and they impregnate all those lionesses and be like, you're going to have my kids. But the strongest ones get the pussy. Elephants, rhinos, and every other, and a lot of other perspectives of animals and insects. The strongest one get the pussy. This is not the case with women in the community you call black. It's not the case. If any woman want to sit down there and tell you that they are dealing with an individual that has no characteristics of a man and come up with some off-ball dumb philosophy as to why they're dealing with him, say you had an infatuation with this individual. No, I wasn't. I was really trying, and they got all these narrative and perspective. And then when I fall back and say, well, that's just what estrogen do. Let me do my dance. They're going to get mad. People, these are facts at 100%. But when I speak about them, you guessed it, I am dubbed the hated one. People, let me go left for a second before I put a bow on this thing. Excuse me. Gotta. So I'm gonna end it with this. And I only was on women for 8 minutes, so don't. Oh, we got on us and dog us out. No, I only need to be swift and brief. So let me just close this out with the perspective of being the hated one. Let me tell y'all all that comes with that. Short relationships. That's one of the perks of being a hated one. Short relationships. Short to none. My relationship span is short to none. I did an inventory of my life, and I blamed my life on being down here in Virginia, but then I had to do something and say, no, I became this figure bigger here than I was when I was up north. So it ain't got nothing to do with that. That was just my misconception. The mere fact that I speak the way I do, individuals can't stomach what I say. The truth is a hard pill to swallow. So let me help everybody understand yours truly, the hated one. I'm the type of person that if you try and, like my mom did, if you think you're going to manipulate me by making me or helping me understand you don't like what I say, I'm going to pull a Charles Barkley on your ass. And what I mean by I'm going to pull a Charles Barkley on your ass, I'm going to do 30 videos on it. When you let me know you don't like me based on something I said, that I said will be 30 videos. You will not get me to change by a lack of maturity in seeing what I'm saying. This is why I got I got an email a couple of days ago, and the individual said, "Chris, are you sure you're in a relationship?" I mean, instant messenger. I said, "Yeah." They said, "I'm surprised." I said, "Why are you surprised?" Said, "Your tone and temperament has not changed. Normally when dudes talk like you and then they get in a relationship, they water down what they're saying. I can't do that. I can't. Am I in a relationship with a woman that has some slight animosity on things that I say? She would say she don't. I would say she do. Not going to talk about that. But I'm the hated one. I tell you guys all the time, the forces of good needs all the help it can get. What we've seen in Washington, D.C. is a man that has done everything in the world to help people of color, only to go unappreciated. And for them to elect a man that said, if you don't know, you ain't black. People, if a black person say to me, you ain't black, I think I would, if a white person say to me, you ain't black, I probably would forego I probably would abort the maturity that I would have at tearing off in it. I would forego it. I would tear off in them. I probably would do verbal first. My man Freddie says facts. Can you just do me a favor, Fred? Can you tell me about what specific? Because your message came. I said some things when you said facts. Could you be more specific? Oh, okay, my man. I would forego that. I probably would allow a white person to call me a nigger before I would let him tell me I ain't black. Because a nigger is like, oh, you're just trying to press buttons. But telling me I ain't black is like, oh, you really trying to go with a mental mindset. Calling me a nigger is standard. That's like the standard. That's why I tell you guys, never call a woman a B word. That's standard. That's standard insult. Now, when me and my woman be together, I'd be like, oh, that's this, and she'd be like, I thought you said you don't call women that. I don't. I'm talking about like if we was to be in it, and I have to tell her about herself, I'm not going to do that. Not going to do that. But I'd be like, oh, that got what coming to her. You know, I get into my thing. I'm so dramatic, but I need y'all to follow me. I'm talking about being a hated one. My mom, almost 2 years ago now, my mom thought that it would be in her best interest to tell me what she don't like about what I do and what I say. How's that working out for her? With a smile at that. How is that working out for her? That's my point. People, this isn't just my passion. What I do, the black community depends on it. Because normally when a man like me speak, you know the look. Nah, me, the bitch, yeah, man, you know, cheers, yeah, that's why, everybody, yeah, nah, me, that's what's up, that keeping it gangster. What that boy Shay Money said? Oh, that keeping it gangster, nah, me, good at weed. The black community needs somebody that's going to get up here and and have high intellect and speak about this stuff based on how it should be spoken about without bashing. So I can take all that I got and all the punches, but just understand. And you can ask my mom this. If you think showing me animosity and hate towards things that I've done that has proven I've saved lives. And that's a great profession to have. My perspective, my narratives, how I define things. Like I asked individuals, Atia LaShawn Bradley, a woman of color, had a man that was paying $410 a month for private school, picking a child up every day, eliminating $600 in after-school care. And for all the idiots out there to say, well, that was your child too. No, once a woman go down to child support, a man's financial obligation is over. And that's something that women just don't fathom. But I'm getting off topic. Doing homework with the child every day, $30 an hour in tutoring, 1 hour a day, 20 days a month. That's another $600. Feeding the child every day, $5, 5 days a week, 20 days a month. That's another $100. $1,710 a month in incentives. Did a show about it, telling everybody about it, advertised that show in the development where Tia LaShawn Bradley lives. She heard the show. I told her there's a $50,000 wager and my house, and I'll pay the note if everything that I'm saying is wrong. She listened to the show and put a restraining order on me. So that meant you just validated my words. The only thing that I said to Tia LaShawn Bradley was, Your Honor, she just said that she listened to the show. And then I looked at the jury. Where's her collecting her wager? The judge then asked her, well, Miss Bradley, what did he say? Because they were curious. They was like, damn, this man is noble. And basically they told the Tia Bradley, lady, look, this is a grand man. Get the hell on up out of here with this nonsense. And I say that because she was unsuccessful. All that with me saying at the beginning of the hearing, y'all can give this woman a restraining order and make it for life. You are trying to restrain me from someone that I had not seen in 6 years. You're trying to restrain me from somebody I'm not trying to restrain. That was my opening argument. But then my mom turns around and make a mockery of my hurt and my pain. That smile is back. How's that working out for her? Because I can say today, I don't give a F about my mom. That's cold, ain't it? Yeah, well, my mom showed me that, and I'm going to be clear about something. When I did a show about this, a dude gave me $100 and then turned around and gave me $600. But when he called me, when I called him, he cried and said, Chris, my mom is treating me the same way. Alexis Stewart, a woman sent me an email that obviously I displayed on many of my social media forums. Chris, I want to thank you for saving my brother's life. Our mom and his child's mom hooked up to destroy him. And his Navy buddy listened to your words. He's been feeling the same he's been the same ever since. People, what I do is I unlock voices in people. That's what I do. I unlock voices. You never heard nobody say, I don't want a relationship with my child. What you heard was, I'm trying to be a father. I'm trying to be a father. Don't call me a deadbeat. I'm trying to be a father. What you heard me say is, Tia Bradley and her daughter, they can get going. Oh, hell no. That ain't how we do it here. And then I said, that ain't how white people do it in the white people neighborhood. Where they do that at? You do wrong in a white community. That white man says, oh, no, son, bring that car back and put that car in the driveway. You can get the hell on. You're shaming the family name. But in the black community, black men can't do that because our women he's a deadbeat on standby. No, ain't no deadbeats over here. We doing good. We are successful in life. And last I checked, which was a couple of months ago, Tia LaShawn Bradley was living in a trailer home that was valued at $35,000. But you did on me like I was a piece of trash. I'll remain the hated one. Last time I checked, I was the most successful one in my family. My brother Donnell is second. My brother Donnell is second, but I got criticized by my mom as you are doing something that's what, beneath her? Cool. All I thought I did was love you. Paid you up until that point. I was paying your bills for 3.5 years. I won't give nobody a nickel. I wouldn't give nobody in my family a nickel. For all those that was here, when my brother got out of jail in 2016, I went up to Jersey, gave him $1,000, put him in a hotel room for 4 days, brought him a cell phone. 10 months after that, he calling me a goofy nigga, et cetera, et cetera. Listen, this is why I tell any woman that's going to be in my life, negativity, you can go ahead and bring it to me if you want. I will annihilate you and send you to go on walking. I don't deal with negativity at all. You know, If there's do you think that the woman that John Walsh married after his son was kidnapped and decapitated, and him and his wife divorced because of that, he could never forgive his wife for losing sight of their child? It's understandable. But do you think the woman that he married after that said, "I'm gonna have your baby, and you ain't gonna see this child," and made a mockery of his pain? No, I guarantee you. Do you think Candy Lightner, the woman that child was killed by a drunken driver, do you think anybody said, "Well, I don't see nothing wrong with drunk drivers"? I mean, they make mistakes like everybody else. Do you think anybody ever said that to her? I don't know that woman, but I'm sure they didn't. They was passionate and showed that woman empathy. But with me, a woman of color said, "Nope, I want to beat on you. You didn't let me. I put you in the hospital. I lied to those white people because I'm a black woman. And around white people, I want to show them that I can be cooperative. But when I get around my black women friends, I want to be just like all of you're a nigga. You're a black man. We don't got to do right. You got to accept us how we are." And beat on me and everything. And then, do you think, I mean, where is "you're a great man"? She was wrong. I didn't get that from my mom. Matter of fact, I had a woman that lived in Jacksonville, Jacksonville, Florida, said, "If you ever down here in Jacksonville, I would like to invite you out to lunch." And I took her up on it when I went to go see my mom one time. And you know what that woman said to me? She said, "Chris, I've been listening to you for years. And you know what?" She said, "I think your problem is," and whenever somebody tell me about my problem, I'm curious because with my intellect, I can get beside myself. And if I can tell you, one time, one dude said to me, "You know what your problem is?" I remember telling y'all I had an account with a school, and I was doing the carpets. And when the dude said, "You know what your problem is?" I said, "Okay, let me listen to this genius." I turned the machine off and I said, "What's my problem, bro?" And he said, "Look at you. This your business, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Look at you." He said, "This the reason why your child's mom is acting the way she is look at you. Look at you. You're successful." He said, "If you was a bum guy out on the street, you'd see your daughter every day. And what you would hear is, 'There go your daddy,' and walk away." I said, "Holy smokes." People, this is why I stay open-minded. This is why when people speak, I listen. But I have, for every 10 times I speak, I get a 20% listen. My listen ratio is only at 20%. Another story. But what this woman said to me, and I want to be clear, what that dude said to me was, "Look at you." That was an epiphany. Now, that was divine intervention. Because an epiphany is when you come up with it. Divine intervention is when something comes to you. So, divine intervention, I changed. That woman said to me, "Chris, I think what your problem is in listening to you, you just never had nobody tell you that it's not your fault." And when she said that, every second for the 11 and a half years that I fought to be a father, every second flashed before me in a fraction of a second. I said, "Holy smokes." My mom never told me. But instead of people saying and understanding me, I get animosity. I will always get animosity. I expect it. And that's a shame, right? That's a shame, right? I expect animosity for what I've been through rather than love. And that, people, is why I am the hated one. I appreciate you guys. 98.3 dotCOMFM. I'll see you guys tonight at 9. Later, y'all.